Hello, hello.
Heads ahead, me and you.
Well, that wasn't what I meant to push. Anyways, so yeah, this is wanted to make a quick video of the weapons and the build I'm running. As you see, Iron Bear is pretty freaking sweet again. So I had to change everything that I was running before. And now I've actually got Vampire, which I've always talked about in the past, how much I wanted to run that. So now we have a pretty heavy iron, I call this like the Iron Bear tree, but the Demo Woman tree. I made a huge cuts to this tree because I read that you don't actually have to take the perk for these to get the bonuses in this game. So, with that in mind, I decided not to dump a whole bunch of perks in here. That way I could get the bonuses from that, and then make huge use of get the most I can out of Iron Bear while running Deathless. I'm sorry, Bloodletter and Deathless. I still farming, still looking for a level 60 Deathless that has more of the Desperate Measures perk instead, because that's just more damage. Same thing with Deathless. I prefer to find a Deathless that has a bonus to magazine size, because I'm still running that in my trees. I am still running heavy in the bottomless mags. I did end up dropping Russian Offensive. I just don't think I need the health gain from it. I was playing with it for a little while. It didn't kick in all that much. Even using this lock-on rocket launcher, the plumage, I could fire the rockets and turn around and sprint, and they'd land, and I'd get healing from it. But it was just too gimmicky. I have to move around and keep track of shit enough as it is between Scrappy and I think this one gives me ammo just like this, and then Drowning Brass gives me damage for a kill, criticals and fire damage and a whole bunch of stuff to keep track of to keep maximizing on damage. I decided to put that at 4 instead of 5, and I think what I did is I tried running that at 5 and Vampire at 2, and it just wasn't quite significant enough, but now it makes enough of a difference at 3 that I could let loose a whole volley of rockets on somebody and recover pretty much most of Iron Bear's health back. And of course, I'm running 3 of deadlines, 5 of stainless steel because I want to get the most duration possible out of Iron Bear. Um, I'm still having a glitch. I'm fairly certain it's a glitch that Iron Bear's cooldown is like almost instant. It's like no matter if I jump out right away or if I got destroyed inside him or used all his fuel, doesn't matter. It's just a few seconds, and all of a sudden his cooldown is back. And I don't know why that is, because I have nothing in Grizzled. It comes back even if I'm not killing anybody. I can't use up the fuel right now, but still, it shouldn't quite come back that fast. But it seems to come back that fast whether I use it all up or not. Especially you can use auto bear to kind of keep track of it that last 15 seconds, so if the cooldown's coming back before that runs out, that's pretty fast. So yeah, don't have anything in that. There's no point if the cooldown is that fast. I don't see a point in wasting perks on it. Not much else to say. It was just pretty much I made a lot of cuts because the Iron Bear stuff he was too good to not incorporate him into my into how I play Moze now. So I used to just run that one, and I had the Tori. I had these two last time, and then I picked Auto Bear. It was either Auto Bear or the Bubble Shield. I took Auto Bear because he's got lock-on rockets, so that's always helpful. At least whatever he shoots at, he's going to actually hit it because he doesn't move. I said dropped this. I also dropped Click Click. I think just everything really in general that I dropped one into this tree because I used to not have any of this or any of that. Dropped that to 4. Did everything I could to get the most out of Iron Bear. I finally got, when I did this, I was finally able to use the nukes for the first time, and that was pretty fun. Those are really, really freaking strong. Which is why I also run Specialist Bear, so I get the 60% boost off of that. I think this increases his damage. Not sure what else. I know this affects his damage too. So he's got a lot of damage increases. Plus he's got healing for all the splash damage he does. And yeah, it's really good. I get to enjoy a lot of Iron Bear, not quite as much as a completely Iron Bear dedicated build that could stay in him forever, as long as there's people to fight. But I get to stay in him long enough. His cooldown comes back super fast anyways. I get the perks of most of the bottomless tree. For some guns it's not quite infinite ammo. If it drags on long enough, I might have to reload once. It also helps that I'm running the transformer, so if anybody I'm fighting is shooting me with bullets, there's a 40% chance to absorb them right into my clip. So things like this tend to last pretty long. I'm deciding I don't think I want to keep trying to farm a new plumage. I did finally get a 150% radiation damage boosting one, but it was around 28,000 damage, which mine is closer to 32,000. It really, the huge drop in base damage pretty much nullified the anointment, so I think I'll stick with this one. It's the 100% corrosive. It's still nice, it's just I have to remember to jump in and out of Iron Bear to trigger it. Um, but the other thing that's a keeper for me on this one is other plumages. This one has a pretty tight spread when you go into the fine aim. So, or you saw me earlier, I just jump on people and like spike hit them. I call it the reverse Shoryuken. But it's pretty good. And then on the fly, it's kind of like a exploding shotgun. It's pretty nice. If I want to take the time, I can go ahead and use the tracker grenade. Better to hit people with it. It makes it kind of like the auto bear, Iron Bear setup I usually go with the lock-on rockets. It is nice using something that actually locks on. It was always I never liked the alternate ability of the OPQ where it shot out a clone of the gun and didn't actually track targets at all, which is kind of like what Atlas weapons are supposed to do. So I mean, OPQ was made up for that awkwardness. It was really good. To say the least. I have to remember I really don't need to pick anything up because my money's maxed out. But I don't think I have it on me, but I recently found the Ruby's Wrath too. I found a 32,000 version of that with the radiation damage boost. So I kept it, but I didn't keep it for farming against Grave Ward because he resists nuclear damage. So I was doing more damage with all my current weapons. I do still want to try and find nuclear Unkempt Herald. This one, as it is still really strong, especially when I remember to trigger the incendiary damage. That's kind of what I want to get away from, is trying to remember that I have to jump in Iron Bear to trigger the bonus damage. It's what's nice about this anointment, is that you just don't have to worry about it. It's there. You don't gotta trigger your action skill, nothing. You just, as long as you're running Deathless, you're live all the time. Yeah. I recently found a Scourge earlier today too that was pretty big damage with the 150 rad boost. But yeah, I'm looking for the rad boost on the flipper. Would prefer to keep corrosive, but I'd rather get the fire element, fire and corrosive. I think, given Moze's incendiary stuff, that just makes sense. Hell Shock's pretty darn good. I was comparing it to the OPQ, and the damage is pretty much like almost even. So if I get a level 60 Hell Shock, that'll be sweet. Even at 57, this thing, compared to the weapons I've been picking up at level 60, it's keeping right up with them. So I don't have any complaints with the Hell Shock. That's a fun gun. I don't know why I didn't notice how strong the flipper was when I first saw it, but this thing is just beast mode. you see other videos of people with it that probably say the same thing. This gun just kills things. It doesn't care. And my plumage, of course. So I got a quasar right now, but it's not what I really want. But it replaced my other grenade for now. Still, like, whatever grenade I run, I'm trying to get that same anointment, the 25% damage boost. But it would be nice that if the grenade did something besides that, so I'm trying to still find a better grenade that suits me. Maybe like, I don't know, a hex, a Merv hex, or I kind of think I still want the transfusion, but I haven't found anything yet that is level 60 with that anointment. And it's like with the weapons, it's such a gamble sometimes, because you might get the perfect thing, you might get the anointment you want, the gun you want it on, everything, except it's on the low end of the weapon damage. Maybe it didn't get as much of as a boost as it's capable of getting, and you got more of a low end on the damage, and then it, you know, like I said with the plumage, it ended up being weaker than the one I already got that doesn't have the 150% boost, which, you know, when you're talking millions of damage, that's 150% is pretty significant. And when the corrosive kicks in on this thing, it's pretty strong. So yeah, that's pretty much, I think that's what I've decided on for now, is I'm just going to stick with these weapons, these gear, the skill tree, you know, until the next patch rolls around and maybe they nerf Iron Bear again. Who knows? Hopefully not, but they might. I say that hopefully they don't nerf Moze or the Iron Bear, because for the longest time it was just like hop in Iron Bear just to trigger action skill bonuses and then jump back out because he did no damage. He was useless. The other thing he was good for is if like somebody had some instant kill move or whatever. Like, I know sometimes if I'm farming Grave Ward, if I'm standing too close when I kill him, one of his explosions takes me out, so it's good to be an Iron Bear and let him eat that damage instead. One of the other things, since probably a couple streams ago, is I've got about 20,000 less shields. Again, that is because I dropped all of my Vladoff Ingenuity perks. I think at one point I ran this as well. I think I put a bunch of perks. I think I ran that at 6. I think I put 3 into that, 5 into that. I had a ton of shields, but it really didn't matter. I'd rather trade the 20,000 shield for all the damage I got and the versatility. You know, the fact that I really don't have to worry about ammo. Iron Bear is reliable as ever. He lasts a long time, and all of that, I still got the damage boosts from Desperate Measures. I mean, it was 80, I believe it was 84 or 87% before, so it's a 50% cut to what I used to run, but I think I made up for it in other ways. That's pretty much that. I'm just gonna go back to farming, I guess. I haven't completed the latest DLC yet. I kind of I got to the plumage and then I just kind of stopped and kept trying to find a better and better and better and better one, and now I've got this one. Before this, I was farming for the back burner, which was still pretty strong. Well, something about this just seems more on the fly, pull it out. It's not the strongest rocket launcher, but it's not a bad rocket launcher, and it's a fun rocket launcher. Plus, with the tracking, it makes it so you can pretty much hit anything you want. Tracking grenades aren't the best, in my opinion, but that's not that there's no other option for the plumage. But for anything that I can't get a tracker around with this, I'll just jump in Iron Bear and that'll do everything I need it to.
A fair price.
Let's see. They have tested this one on him yet. Yeah, that hurt, didn't it? Pretty satisfied. It's still doing a lot of damage, even though he's resisting some of the elements. Anything for dropping some of that desperate measures stuff to buff up Iron Bear. He has definitely proved worth it. This is still on Mayhem 10 as well. I haven't changed this in since I got these rolls on it, so I'm still running the big kick energy with the big recoil. I think if they ever do anything where that changes and I run it without that recoil, I'll know. I feel like way more accurate than I need to be, because 100% recoil is kind of a big deal. But it doesn't seem to affect me too much. I mean, if I don't continuously aim downwards, it does, but it really doesn't affect me too much. I'm not running like any sniper weapons or anything. For Atlas guns, it pretty much doesn't matter unless I don't track the rounds. But even then, when I'm fighting people, I just spike them with that, and most of that's gonna hurt them anyways, so the recoil really doesn't affect me at all. I don't notice it too much, but it probably would feel a little weird playing without that recoil anymore if that ever goes away. The Healy Avenger, where little hearts pop out, and if they reach an enemy, they fully heal. That you can kind of use to your advantage because you shoot them and then they drop health and shields for you, which is really just a ton of health. Ton of shields for Moze because of what I'm running. Chain Gang again doesn't really do too much damage. It's a slight hindrance, maybe. I usually ignore it. If it's shock, it just heals Moze because of if you run Transformer. But even the rest of them don't do too much damage unless you really sat in front of them like continuously. But if you're just running around and pass through one or two or three or four times, you'll probably be fine. And my final modifier is the crit hit reduced by 75%. So it doesn't make it pointless to shoot for criticals, because that's still 25% more damage off the critical hits, so I'll take it. I still like these rolls for Mayhem 10. I think I got off pretty easy with all those. I ran the one time that like the little drone thing floats and makes people immortal, and I've seen the glitch where that thing floats into walls and you can't get to it. Weird shit like that. Nobody wants that. But yeah, I think I've been running this Mayhem 10 roll since the cartel event, or maybe even before the cartel. I don't remember when it might have started with the cartel event. But anyways, that's my Moze build. Kind of a balanced build, if you want to call it balanced. I don't know what the official name for something like that is, but I mean, I'm making pretty good use out of the 3 trees. I hear the flipper's really good, and I think the Herald's really good. I haven't really heard anybody talk about the plumage. So I don't know what kind of, like, if I'm running the best weapons out there right now or what. But these are the ones I like. That's really all that freaking matters. They serve me well. I have no complaints with any of these guns. On that note, I'm going to end this.